Welcome back to another episode of Accountants Are Sexy. Change my mind. Now, as you can probably, if you're on YouTube, you can probably see already. And if you are not on YouTube and you're on some kind of audio device, I have a very, very special guest. And I know that I say very special guest often, but this one is particularly special because Rachel Harris of Accountant She and Strivex was my first ever guest. And she's come back. So welcome.
She's come back. The dream team is back together.
I'm so bowled over. You and I have had chats offline, and I just love watching your story, watching you grow, watching you thrive. But it takes me back to the day where I sat up in bed, and on a Sunday morning, as you do, and I was like, I'm going to start a podcast. And that's not something I'd ever considered before, not content I'd ever considered creating, because actually being on camera isn't quite comfortable for me, or wasn't. It's getting better. But I saw stories and I knew that they needed to be told. And yours is one of those stories that just jumped out at me. And you're almost like a part of the reason this is Accountants Are Sexy, because you're just changing the narrative and you don't stop.
You can tell me that again. I also think last time on episode 1, I was engaged.
Yeah,
I've now married a sexy accountant, so I'm the poster girl.
I know, and I think that's what you said when I asked you, "What's the sexiest thing about accountants?" You were like, "My fiance." Super cute, super cute. So, do a little bit of a catch up, if that's okay to start with. Where were you? When was it? September 2021 when the first one was recorded.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So where were you at that stage?
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Rachel Harris. Now we rebranded. We got married. Rachel Harris, and I'm the founder of Accountant She, and I'm also the co-founder with my lovely now husband James of Strivex Accountants. So Accountant She is the safe place, an online community that I needed when I was training to become an accountant. It's a safe place that I needed when I was starting my own practice. And it's also the safe place that I needed as a small business owner. And so in the summer of the pandemic, so July, August 2020, I quit my job and decided that I wanted to build the practice that I deserved to work for when I was a young adult training and doing my exams. And it was also the practice that, if I wasn't an accountant, but I was still a small business owner, that I would want to become a client of. So that was nearly 3 years ago. And oh my gosh, hold on to your seat. It's been bloody mental. Like I'm just this little blonde accountant with a dream. And every single day, like those dreams are coming true. So within Accountant She, I make long and short form content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for young training accountants, or not young, sorry, training accountants, people who want to start or scale their own practice, and small business owners. And I do that through storytelling, just sharing my story. I really felt like when I started the practice that not enough people were just having really frank, open conversations about what they do, how they do it, why they do it, and what it is like doing that along the way. And so Accountant She, as an online community, we've got over 28,000 people now. I get to work with incredible brands, doing TV appearances, working with BBC News on the 10 o'clock news, just bringing financial education into mainstream media and doing it whilst also breaking down the stereotype of what it means to be an accountant, because lots of people think that we're all stale, pale and male. And so that's Accountant She. And then Strivex is my incredible accountancy practice. And so 3 years ago, we were a one-man band working from our dining room table with 50 clients, and we're about to hit 700 clients, and we've just recruited our 15th member of staff. And
I'm sorry.
Even saying it out loud.
Because last time I checked, you were like 400-500. You're just about to hit 700 clients. That's nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah. So we're just about to hit, actually, I think it'll probably be in the next week, about to hit 700. We've just recruited our 15th member of staff. We've just launched our own mortgage practice. So we now got Strivex Mortgages, because again, like as two self-employed people, our business journey just mirrors our personal journey going through business. And as two self-employed people who really understand their numbers, we've got a portfolio of rental properties, and mortgages are bloody difficult every time. And so we've now just launched DriveX Mortgages, and have absolutely no plans of slowing down. We plan to reach out and do more financial services and bring more services in-house and just continue to take over the world. But if I had one job title, it would be disruptor, just trying to disrupt the industry in terms of what it means to be an accountant, what it means to be an employer. I think, if you're an accountant listening to this as well, thinking, bloody hell, like the clients is impressive, but also how have you scaled a team from 0 to 15? Like, one of the bits that I speak about the most is actually how to leverage building a personal brand and building an online platform in order to make sure that you never have recruitment problems. And so in an industry that has massive, like phenomenal shortages of staff, we have an employee waiting list that's just tipped over 65 people that get it, want it, are competent to do the job, and are waiting to join our practice. And so that has made scaling we've not even got stabilizers on anymore. We're just going.
This is an incredible journey. I've even seen people, and I've talked to people like, well, I can't do marketing because I can't afford the staff, or I can't find the staff to fulfill the work. So they just stop growing their business because they think that there's no staff for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so and this is the thing, right? I recently came into Kelly's membership club and delivered a session to her team. And even like that, like you start off and you start creating content on social media normally to do one thing. So for me, it was during the pandemic, this is where small business owners are launching their business. I'm going to go onto one platform for one reason, which is I'm going onto Instagram to try and find clients. 3 years later, I'm now like across 4 different platforms. We've got 28,000 people, and I actually create content for lots of different types of people. And I actually get not only different ways to monetize all of the platforms, but also different ways I can, like, me not having to pay one recruitment fee from 0 employees to 15 employees across 3 years has saved me literally tens of thousands of pounds every single year. And
I would even go as far to say you get paid to do your recruitment because you've monetized your platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And like even that, like I've had people reach out online and just like cold email me their CV and be like, please, can you help me? And it will just so happen that I like know a practice owner in their local area, and I'll say like, hey, I've just had the CV. And for me, like them engaging in that content online, like you're following an accountant on social media. So like even in your own personal life, you are trying to consume as much content as possible. Like that's a big green flag in terms of recruitment. And so there's a couple of people that we've been able to land jobs with really big practices like Accounts and Legal. Stuart Hurst, I was able to be like, hey, I think you should speak to this person. And he hired her. And so just that sense of like joy and giving back to the community. And for me, that's definitely where I see the future of accountancy.
This is an amazing thing about the accountant community. I think I've mentioned this every time I record a podcast episode. The community is the best thing. It is the best thing. They're so tight. And I don't understand any mentality where they wouldn't just like full on go in and try and use the use the community, because there are some people that have a scarcity mindset and they're like, oh no, don't possibly share, no, can't do that. And that's just weird to me.
100%. And I think even that, like, so in January of 2023 I launched the first ever corporate bursary scheme, which came from my own. Basically, anything I do in business comes from my own personal, like, either experience or challenge, or like just being like, oh my gosh, why is it this way? And so I had quite a difficult journey. Like, I didn't come from a family that worked in professional services. I came from a very normal family, and so I never thought being an accountant was like achievable for me. And so that's firstly why I created the platform, to show people, like, most people would consider me quite young to own a practice, like to just break down all of those barriers. And so making sure that people from a financial perspective, like finance shouldn't be a barrier to entry to anybody who wants to become an accountant. And it was for me. Like, I did an apprenticeship, I earned £3 an hour. And so I actually had 3 jobs, evenings and weekends, like working in nightclubs, working in pubs, to just be able to afford the bus fare to and from work. Like, it was mental. And so for me, I just want to leave the industry better than I found it. And so I launched the first ever corporate bursary scheme, which is fully funding somebody who doesn't have access to the finances but wants to study through the whole 3 years of AAT. So level 2, level 3, level 4, everything's fully paid for, all of their professional membership, exam fees. They get one-to-one personal development and mentoring with me every single month. All of their study resources, like flashcards, all of that stuff, all of their exam fees are paid for. And yeah, I'm again, like, doing that stuff doesn't come with a scarcity mindset. Like, I was the first, but I definitely won't be the last. And so to be the first was incredible, but to do it with this mindset of like, I just want people to see me doing it and do it themselves. It was the same. It was one of the main reasons that I put myself forward to become a director and trustee of AAT. I thought, like, if I can be the youngest, maybe next year I won't be the youngest anymore. Like, that's my dream, is to just encourage more people to do those things.
Pushing that bar.
Yeah,
I think when you called yourself a disruptor, there is no doubt in my mind that is what you are. That is what you are. I think there are other people that might say, "Yeah, I'm a disruptor." Like when one of my mentors said, "I see you as a disruptor, Kelly," and I'm like, "Oh no, I know some disruptors. I'll take it, thanks very much, but no, I've just got a funny name." So. But no, I truly see you as a disruptor, and I love the fact that you're pushing these boundaries. And I think that it's just going to inspire, like you said, a whole load more people.
Yeah.
I have a question. We're going to get onto the topic that we're here to discuss in a moment, but I have a quick question for you. I'm very much into personality profiles and so forth. I love people.
Yeah.
You know, I want to find out as much as possible. And it struck me the other day that if you'd done a personality profile on accountants 10 years ago, you would have been like solid blue.
Yeah.
You know, and now I look at the industry and I'm like, the topics that people are talking about, the way people are talking about things, they are so different. It's so much more about people. So like, do you see that change? Like, I would say greens, if you're looking at like that kind of red, blue, green, yellow profile, the industry's gone green.
It's really interesting because I'm actually, if you put my personality type, which is ISTJ, into like a job finder thing, it literally tells you to become an accountant. And James has the exact same personality type. Wow. So I'm actually a really introverted person. I lose energy by being around other people. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. It doesn't mean I'm an awkward person. Like I'm the sort of introvert that people tell me I'm not an introvert, but I am.
You just need to recover.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I definitely, even like we see it in recruitment, right? Like my 3 recruitment sort of criteria are: do they get it, do they want it, and are they competent to do it? And I can teach you debits and credits. I can teach you everything else. I can't teach you to embrace my brand, embrace my culture, to make sure that you are delivering like a wow experience to every customer at every touch point. And so like, actually, even as an employer, I'm looking for social and like personality skills over anything else, because actually it's the one bit you really can't change about somebody, but like I can increase your competence. We can we can put you through AAT.
I don't think that's high on the agenda for many people, because they're trying to look for the technical skills, and they might miss a whole group of people because of this.
But again, like for someone with an employee waiting list, that's why that waiting list, like the waiting list does so many different things, and I've never heard of anybody else that does this. But like purpose and like where the waiting list really sets the candidates apart is these are people who, one of the boxes that we have is I'm actively or passively looking for a job, and 95% of the people on our waiting list are passively, and they literally say like, I am not looking for another job, but I want to work for you.
That's incredible.
So these are people who have like consumed our content. They've like seen the employee benefits package, which is chef's kiss. They've seen us go on all-inclusive holidays to Mallorca. Like they've seen the culture, they've seen the vibe, they align with it, and so they want to do it. And so it does something for everybody.
I want to draw the parallels, because that's because of your marketing, and clients are like that too. There are clients,
oh my gosh, yes,
right now that are just like, oh, look, that's over there. That person over there is saying better things than my accountant. I've got there is a better connection, and that's what they do. They wait for their opportunity to leave. So I think that's really worth bearing in mind.
Oh, 100%. And I've literally had, so we run completely free like community webinars for our clients and for our whole community. So it's not just clients. And actually we have loads of other accountants who join the sessions. And so some of them are specifically about finance. Some of them are just small business owner stuff. So like how to build a personal brand, all of that stuff. And so if you are listening and you are an accountant and you're like, oh gosh, I could never join another accountant's webinar, please come and join my webinar. I'd love to see you. Like actually just having other accountants in the audience just makes me really, really happy. And so we run all of this content, and I've had clients who come and deliver webinars literally say, before speaking to Rachel, I already knew I wanted to work with her.
Yeah.
And as long as she quoted within a certain boundary, I knew, like, it almost didn't matter.
It was a no-brainer. The decision had been made. Yeah.
People were already decided because, again, it's exactly the same as the employee waiting list, exactly the same as the clients. If you're not my ideal client, you'll probably land on my Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube and be like, what the bloody hell is this? Who are you? Stop dancing. Like this is just too much for me. And so those people, like, they don't even enter my atmosphere. But the ones that do are like, yes, yes, my accountant doesn't answer the bloody phone. I can see you on Instagram every single day. I can consume your content. I can get tax tips. I can see what you're up to. I can see you telling a story about like how important I am to you as a customer. And so that's the thing. Like, it not only does it mean that you're attracting the right clients, it means that you haven't got people, you know, kicking your tires and having a look and being like, is this for me?
How much?
Yeah, because if it's not for them, they're like, oh God, you're annoying. But they don't even inquire. So I just don't have the conversations. And that's the thing. Like, I think we all do a serious job, but like not taking yourself too seriously is 100. Like, people probably land on my page and be like, go away, like close the tab urgently. This is awful. But like, obviously that will happen. And so that's where that scarcity mindset doesn't come from. They're probably an ideal client for somebody else who, you know, wants, you know, I'm serious business. I take myself very seriously. Like, I'm probably not for you.
Yeah, it's horses for courses. I hope that my content puts some people off, because I feel like I'm a nurturer. I want to take care of people. And if you're not a type of person that wants to be taken care of, you know, if you want to charge through, make decisions really fast, you know, that's not me. I'm there for the people who want to just take it easy, be confident in their decisions, gather evidence, you know, like, mine's a much easier journey than working with somebody else. And I hope through content you put people off, because that's marketing, right? It's about talking to the people you want and turning off the people that you don't. That's
like I speak to about, I'm just trying to do some maths. Don't tell anyone I have an accountant. I have 24 prospective client calls a week.
Yeah.
And I could have a diary full of 24 that none of them are interested. None of our personalities fit. They're full of red flags. I'm dishing out red flags to them backwards and forwards. But like, social media means that I can have 24 and be like, cool, I understand I've got an 85% conversion rate. I understand where the leads have come from. I've verified the leads. I've checked the leads. I understand their business. Like, it's not just about numbers. And that's why I always think like sharing the behind the scenes is really, really important, because I think it's really easy to like play top trumps with social media followers or clients or member of staff. And like, every practice is different. Like, some people could have an average fee of like £400 and other people could have an average fee of £9,000 if they're doing like outsourced FD, really high consultancy work. And
and it depends on who their clients are as well. You
Yeah,
can't
like,
judge somebody who has like clients that are just sole traders, they're local, they're plumbers, they've just started a business, to someone that's dealing with tech companies in the city. 100%. It's just bonkers.
And this is the thing, I think,
dog that just wants to say hello at the moment. Get off me.
We're all friends. I've just realised we're wearing matching outfits. We're both to anyone that's listening, we're both wearing black Vans hoodies, and now Kelly's got a dog.
Yeah. See, this he's always under my desk. He's not normally this annoying.
So cute.
Right. Okay. This is serious stuff. No, come on. Right. So we have discussed how important content is and what it can deliver. There is no doubt that content is the marketing tool that most people need but get wrong, or, in my experience, shy away from.
Yes.
Now, content is scary. Being visible is scary. Trying things and getting it wrong is scary. So how do people get over that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Kelly. So, if you've read the show notes or you've read the blurb of what Captain Kelly has written about today's episode, you'll probably know that we are here to talk about Accountex this year. So, I do a lot of talking online to, you know, at places like Accountex, Digital Accountancy Show, all of the great places about content and how to do it. And I've also been and listened to other people talking about it. And so one of my frustrations has always been, most people know about content. They either consume other people's or they know what they've got to do. There's just a reason they're not doing it. And so whilst I love going and speaking to other accountants and business owners about content, actually sometimes talking about it isn't enough. Again, my entire life is dictated by things that I experience and understand how I could try and make it better for those that come after me. And so for me, listening to a talk at Accountex or following other people's content on social media isn't enough. Most people have a barrier, that's something that's stopping them, whether it is mindset, maybe they think there's a practical reason they're not doing it, they haven't got the latest iPhone, or they've seen someone with a great ring light and they don't have one. Like, people are like, there is a barrier.
Put barriers up in the way.
Something is stopping you. So this year, I said to Accountex, there's something that's missing from the program. Like, you've asked me to come and speak about how having an amazing personal brand can scale your business. I'm speaking 5 times across the 2 days about anything.
Me, by the way, we're going to be talking about impact.
Like how to create impact, how to do all of this stuff on social media, how to build a personal brand, how to scale your practice, but actually sitting and listening to it. And we've all had that feeling of even if it's online, you still get the feeling, but you could be sat at a stage at Accountex and you feel like so inspired by what somebody's talking about, and you like feel this energy, and then you go home and you do nothing about it. And so I said to Accountex, like, we need to capture that energy that you guys, like Accountex and like these speaking events, put so much time and money and effort into filling people with that feeling, but you're not capturing it. And so for Accountex as a brand, it's insane. Like, if we can find a way to capture that energy and like share that story on social media, that's amazing for you. You're giving your attendees this safe place to create content. And so, this year I am hosting the first ever content creation clinic at Accountex. So across both days, I will be manning the Accountant She in partnership with Accountex Content Creation Clinic. And so you can come to me. If anyone has ever watched any of my content online, you'll probably recognize the picture behind me, which is just my little YouTube and content creation setup. And so it will literally be visible on site that it's me. We'll be there across both of the days, and it's basically just an invite to come and create content. That can be as much or as little as you'd like. If you come to me and say, actually, I'm a bit of a fan of yours, and I would like, I've seen you make TikToks with other people. Can we make a TikTok together? The answer is absolutely yes. Do you want to do it on my phone or yours? Put your phone in that ring light. Let's find an audio and let's dance together. For other people, it could be like, I cannot do a talk to camera video. I can't remember it. I think I need this really expensive teleprompter. Like, how do you do it? What software do you use? What equipment do you use? Like, what's going on behind the scenes that I need to know? And so creating this literal safe place for people to come and create content and just share stories, share tips, to actually show you that, like, I have quite a nice setup, but at the beginning, oh my God, I was on my dining room table with an iPhone. Like, I'm here now because I've been able to monetize it, and I want to express my brand, my personality, and my mission through the background of my content. But it wasn't that way from the beginning. And so to be able to almost watch someone create content, I think is really powerful. So you're not seeing like this like 7-point lighting system. You're seeing me with a ring light with my phone, hitting record and like running away from the camera and then like doing a stupid dance. Like, it is hilarious, but like breaking down those barriers so that rather than you just seeing the polished version, which might have happened on anywhere between take 1 and take 17, you're actually seeing it happen in real life. And so we've got some amazing things planned. We are going to do some content creation bingo. And so it'll give you guys a checklist of ways that you can maximize and ways that you can create content at Accountex with or without showing your face. Lots of people start their practice in the dark. Maybe they've got a full-time job, they're employed, and so they actually can't put their face to it for a little while. And so there's lots of content that you can create without your face. There's also loads of content that you can create with your face. And so that's where I come in. And so we're going to be helping you guys to create, dances to trending audios that you see us do quite a lot, talk to head, anything that you would like to do. Like, we're just there to help you do it. And for me, I'm just so passionate about like the speaking events and going to listen to people talk is such a powerful part of Accountex. For me, I think it's one of the best bits about Accountex, but like, it's really important that we like take that energy and we direct it. And so there's the practical element of like being able to see people create content, watching people create content, for you to be able to create your own content. Like, oh my gosh, like you could just come and like batch create loads of audios with us, and then you've got like a week's worth of content planned, done.
Yeah.
So that's the first bit. And then the second bit is lots of people, you know, maybe do something at Accountex and then they'll go home, and then when they're sat in their living room on their own, they're like, oh yeah, but I could never do that. Actually, if you can create some content in the Excel in London full of thousands of people with me, you can probably do it on your own. Like way easier. Yeah. And so while you're full of that like crazy Accountex adrenaline, coming and creating content is actually one of the best things that you can do. Because if you can do it in front of other people, with a stranger, with someone that you don't know, and you can do that in public, oh my gosh, can you do it in private? And so it's just been so important to me to like build this safe place for people to do it and to be able to ask questions, like oh my gosh, come and ask questions. And so we're actually by the main stage. The headshot guy and the content creation clinic are intentionally next to each other, so that you guys can just come and create loads of content all in one go, get a new headshot, come glammed up and come and ask some questions. We're also going to be doing a couple of big group dancey TikTok-y trends throughout the day as well. And so yeah, that's what we're up to at Accountex. Absolutely, yeah.
And this is where you see that my coordination skills are pretty much limited.
Mine are awful. Like this is the thing that like people just like do not understand. And I think it's really, I love creating content with other people, and like more and more we've been working with brands. So like we did stuff at QuickBooks Connect. We had accountancy manager. Lots of people listening to this probably know accountancy manager Jonathan Stobart. He came and made TikTok. Yeah, he came and made TikToks together. And I absolutely love it, because some people will come and they see what we do online and they think it's really easy, and then they come and try and do a dance and they're like, oh god, I can't do it.
All of a sudden I'll feel like I'll feel my age.
But this is the thing, and I think lots of people have lots of different opinions on social media, and some people love it, some people hate it. But for me, not only is you know, creating content part of our business strategy, I also really firmly believe, and like a lot of people will be very familiar seeing our team in our social content and TikToks and YouTube videos and day in the life stuff, like you'll be really, really used to seeing our team. And I, as a leader, have this phrase and like this understanding that you do your most intelligent work around people that you're not afraid to look stupid in front of.
Very true.
And if it's like an employee's second day at work and we're doing a bloody Meghan Trainor dance TikTok thing that's absolutely mental, like the next day when you're working from home, you're not afraid to like Teams call someone and ask them a question, because they saw you try and do the worm the day before. So you're fine. And like it breaks down all of those barriers that very often like we offer hybrid working. I absolutely love it. I think it makes, you know, employability and accessibility like fantastic. Like we absolutely love hybrid working, but like it does bring challenges and it brings barriers. And so actually for us, like getting people to feel uncomfortable and a bit stupid in front of each other is really important.
So I was out for dinner the other day, and I was talking to somebody who was talking about remote working, and I was like, I do like remote working and I like hybrid working, but it does, as you say, bring a lot of challenges, and you don't get the bonds, and you don't have the small questions, and you lose a lot of that small talk and learning, you know, on-site learning.
Yeah.
And there are different ways that you can address this. I've never once heard anyone say that the way you address this is by doing the worm in front of them.
Yeah. It's very good.
But I can see the logic.
And this is the thing, like, I do think, and like, this is something that I've experienced myself, like creating content isn't all great. Like, I'm a very, very positive person. My glass is always half full. The sun is always shining, even if it's raining in Rachel land. That's just my personality type. It's actually because I'm quite an anxious, worry sort of person. So I'm like, I've already anticipated every awful thing that could possibly happen, and I've decided that we're going to have a great day. And so I'm a very positive person. Just because I choose not to speak about the sort of negative side of social media doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But like I've had quite awful comments, to be honest, from other people in the industry that think what I do is stupid, or it's just content. And so it's really important to like prefix
I can't believe people would say like you're doing it wrong when you got nearly 700 clients on board. Like, what part of that is wrong. 700 of the right clients, and you're telling me I'm wrong?
Yeah.
That's just
you'd be surprised as well. Like, we could spill some tea. Like, people, honestly, people, and you know, I'm big enough and grown up enough to know most of it is probably never about me.
Yeah.
It's probably almost certainly all about them. But people do it, and they say these things, and so it's really important to prefix all of that with our induction is not just TikTok. We do TikTok Tuesdays, and so we get new starters to start on a Monday. We have a very formalized, beautiful scheduled timetable of 3 solid days of induction, and in the center of day 2, I think it is really important to just make a bit of a tit of yourself, and actually for people to see other people do that.
Yeah.
Like, as a leader, it's really important that my team see me not afraid to look stupid, or like not afraid to put myself out of my comfort zone, or to like listen to their feedback. And like our team are a huge source of like inspiration and content. Like, a lot of our content comes from our team. And so like it does so many things, but as a leader, I think it's really powerful that people see you not take yourself too seriously, and they actually get to know you as a person, not just as a colleague or a boss or someone that you have appraisals with.
And it's inspiring, and it inspires creativity. I've spoken to quite a few accounting firms along the way where I'm like, what do your team do? How do you get your team involved? You know, how do you get the ideas from them? And they're like, oh, no, we don't. Now, they have had meetings. I've had people set up meetings with their team, and they're like, right, what do you want to talk about this week? And they're like, I don't know. You know, they're under pressure because they're not in the mindset of actually, this is a story. We can tell this. This is a problem we overcame. You know, or even silly things like I want to show how fun we are in the office. They've hired typically accountants who have never done that before.
I did just lose you. I think that might have been the second thing that you were talking about. So the beginning of that sentence again.
Well, funnily enough, I didn't lose you. So for the people listening at home, StreamYard is a bit weird sometimes. So I prepped Rachel, but I didn't lose you.
Okay,
so we'll see. But yeah, so there are teams, just for your benefit, Rachel, there are teams I've spoken to that they don't understand how to bring content ideas. And there is a lot of pressure just going into a meeting with a room full of people who are trained in accountancy and saying, what content should we create? Because they don't know, unless it's bred into your culture, unless you're leading, unless you're doing something yourselves and showing them, they simply don't know. I worked for a law firm as well. Same issue. I want you to create content. Well, what does content mean?
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't a culture of doing it, so it didn't work.
And that's where, like, I definitely, from our perspective, it has escalated to the point where the team that we have came from the employee waiting list, which came from them finding us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So we literally have one member of staff who decided to become actually, that's not true. We have two members of staff decided to become an accountant because they watched my YouTube videos saying like how to become an accountant. And so like 2.5 years ago, they watched my YouTube video called How to Become an Accountant. They started AAT. One, it was her first ever job. She reached out to me and said, can I come and do some work experience? And we hired her. The other one decided to do AAT as a result of watching my YouTube content, went somewhere else for a while, and then came to us. So I have 2 members of staff who literally only became an accountant because they saw my YouTube content. And then actually like 70% of the other people came from the employee waiting list, which generally is only pushed on social media content. So our team actually found us that way. And so our team actually have a very strong passion and drive to pass that on, and to like, even if it does feel a bit silly or uncomfortable, to still do it because they understand the value that they took from those things. And like we do have members of staff that don't, for various reasons, like don't create lots of social media content, and so like that it's only a small chunk of our team that you see online. And even that's a really important thing to say, because if you're a practice owner listening to this, like, I can't get anyone to do it, like, actually you just need 1 or 2. You don't have to have your team involved. Getting a couple of them involved very often will snowball into they all do it because they'll all have FOMO.
And don't force them.
yeah oh gosh, yeah, the only thing worse than no content
your contract.
yeah and so like for us it's definitely, people can see the benefit of it. even like as an accountant, if people get asked a question, anytime anybody gets asked a question by a client, we ask that they add that question onto the content creation list. So then I can create content that answers those questions. So if you're an accountant that, we're preparing a set of accounts, and every time we do bookkeeping or management accounts for somebody, we're saying, can you just check your director's loan account and let us know that you're happy with this? Here's a YouTube video that we've created explaining what a director's loan account is, what it means, and how you can review this. With every set of accounts, we've got a YouTube video that's how to review and sign off a set of accounts, because most clients are like, well, you're my accountant. I literally pay you to do this. Why are you asking me to sign off my accounts? And so it's just me page by page going through a set of accounts that I created called Testy McTestis Unlimited, and it just talks them through the set of accounts. And so like there's so many different elements to our content. Lots of other accounts.
I use that name all the time when I'm talking about things.
Testy McTestison. We have them set up as an individual and as a limited company, and we create lots of content using Testy. And so like even as a team, like they see the way that you make a suggestion, a couple of weeks later it's a YouTube video, and then you never have to answer that question again.
And then it helps people. It helps. Like, this is the thing: your content actually educates and helps. It doesn't. It's not all TikTok dances, although they're funny and they're great to do. Actually, this content that you can create is useful.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily know when you just sit in a room and go, right, I need to create content. What the hell do you talk about? So doing it in a way like that and just capturing these ideas, this is organic content. This is good stuff.
And that's the word, is organic. Like if you're a practice owner and you're like you like block time out of your diary to create content.
Yeah.
But you've got a blank page in front of you, you're probably not going to create your best content. You will create your best content by keeping a note on your phone or having a spreadsheet, which is what I do. You will do your best work by creating a process, which means that you have a way to capture ideas as and when you have them. And then when you've got scheduled time, you have a to-do list and you have content pillars. You have ways of planning and scheduling content for different pieces of your audience.
To keep it on brand, but to keep it useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. And so like scheduling time to be creative generally does not make you creative, but finding ways to capture the creative parts of your brain when you're normally doing something else. So for me, it will be, watching YouTube content. I actually just took a couple of weeks off work and found like my creativity always goes up, and I come back with like new ideas for new YouTube series. And like even for us, like we're at the point now where lots and lots of people request content that's just sort of like more behind the scenes real life stuff. And so James and I are launching a YouTube series called Partnership, which is about being life partners and business partners and just what it's like running a business together as a young newly married couple, and just being able to let people in. And so many people request it, but it's something that I just gave myself a couple of weeks headspace, and it's really cool. Before we hit record, Kelly and I were talking about the fact that a couple of people in the accounting industry are going on a little workcation together to create content together and to sort of like just put yourself in an environment where you feel really inspired and creative. And again, as accountants, we probably didn't all go into accountancy or start our own practices because we're really creative people. But it's about finding ways to like turn up the volume on that part of your brain when you need to and capture it, so that when you are in a position where you do that, and creating lots of content sets you up for the days that you don't feel creative. Then you can sort of utilize content that you made on the days where you didn't want to.
Yeah, it's such a valuable lesson. Like, there are so many people put themselves under a lot of pressure, and then they'll go blank for a week, and they'll think that blank week has just destroyed everything they've ever done. To lose consistency does affect the algorithm, but just don't worry about it. Don't worry about the algorithm. But bulking your content up and then kind of creating in advance, you can just sneak it out there. No one knows.
Oh my gosh, no one knows.
No one cares.
I used to get loads of imposter syndrome about like if I posted a reel on Instagram where I was wearing a different top to the reel, like to the top that I'm actually wearing. Like, could I go on my Instagram stories and talk? And like the reality is, like, also people like knowing that you created on, like, it gives them permission to do it as well. So if people see me posting a reel and then coming on stories with a different top, they're like, oh, okay, so she doesn't do everything on that day. And I'm there like, dude, I'm in jogging bottoms. I'm not doing this today. Absolutely not. And I think it's really important to like let people see that.
There are some days, and most of my content hub is LinkedIn. That's where I'm found all day, every day. And sometimes I'm like, I am posting too much today. So because ideas just happen, don't they? They just come to you like, oh yeah, that's a good one, that's a good one, that's a good one. So I'll just put them into LinkedIn and I'll be like, send out in 2 days time, send out in 4 days time. Just like get it out. That's the most important thing. Get the ideas out when you have them, and then just schedule it for when they need to be there.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Mm.
On the days where you have too much content and you're feeling really creative, what do you do differently compared to the days where you're like tumbleweed?
What do I do differently?
So this is something that I challenge people. So if someone tells me they're having a good day, like employees, other people, like if someone's like, if I ask someone how they are and they say I'm having a really, really good day, I tell them to stop, write down everything that they did that day, so that when they're having a bad day, they go back to that list and they're like, let me try some of these.
Yeah.
So like if I start my day and like the dishwasher's full and like the kitchen's a little bit messy, but I decided to just take, me and James have this rule in the house where if something takes you less than a minute, you should do it as soon as you see it.
Okay.
And so doing those things very often sets me up with like a very like clear sort of accomplished, like I've got some dopamine in there already, you know, like I've already emptied the dishwasher and done some stuff. So I always say to people, if they say they're having a good day, I say like write down every single thing that you've done from the second you woke up to now and try and spot differences. Next time you're having a bad day, come back to this list and see if you can do a couple of them again.
That's a really good idea. I wrote in my journal last night, actually. I'm doing the Stephen Bartlett CEO.
Nice, love that.
That one. So I figured I'd just give it a go, see what it's all about. And I wrote in that diary last night that I felt really accomplished. So I felt really accomplished on the Saturday because I was in work mode on Saturday. I was just getting stuff done and it was all flowing and it had creativity and I've got a whiteboard of ideas and I was messaging people, really, really good energy. And on Sunday, that energy had shifted and I was in housework mode. And now I've got a clean kitchen, my stairs are done, my living room's all tidy. And I was like, once again, I was in flow, just a different type of flow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really interesting to track back of what you've done because
especially when it's creativity, which is something that very often feels quite hard to be able to turn on and turn off. And so like a really great book recommendation if you are somebody that like wants to be able to turn on parts of your brain but like really struggles to is Working Hard, Hardly Working by Grace Beverley. Really teaches you how to, like, planes don't go from being on the ground to being in the air in 4 seconds. There's the takeoff and there is a landing. And so if you want to be creative and you want to create content, listening to this podcast while you're emptying your dishwasher before you sit down to create content would be a great way to take off. And then doing something else, maybe like organizing some B-roll content on your phone, is a great way to land the plane. Like, you don't go from being on the tarmac to being in the air. And like trying to force your brain to do that will just leave you very frustrated and like take a lot of energy.
I think that was the difference over the 2 days. So when I was in workflow, I got to my desk probably around 10 o'clock with a cup of coffee. And I just started just getting rid of some stuff. That's all that happened. And then it just came on, you know, like I just started, I was in the zone. I understood it. When I woke up on Sunday, it was different vibes, different people, different start to the day. So yeah, it's important to track back, but I haven't really thought about it, but I can see why.
Yeah. So next time,
context.
Yes,
we're running. We ran out of time ages ago, by the way, but I love talking to you. I want to come back to accountants quickly because you are doing so much stuff. You like, there is tons of stuff that you reeled off that's going to be happening at this content creation clinic. What do you say to the people who are a little bit nervous about coming and doing this? What's their start point?
Your start point would be you've already got a friend. Me. I don't know. I've always found the entire accounting community like just so friendly, so friendly. And so, yeah, if you're thinking like, oh, I'm not sure this is for me, please no. I literally pitched this account to Accountex for you. Like, you are the person I'm trying to talk to. You are the person I want to create content with, because for me, like, I'm just this like bouncy ball of energy, and I just feel so inspired to like pass it on to other people and to show them like I don't have this like weird superpower. Like, I have imposter syndrome too. I think I look like a tit too. Like, I think that if I watch a video too many times, I talk myself out of posting it. Like, every single thing that you are thinking, I feel the same too.
Yeah.
I think sharing it, talking about it, making friends along the way is really an important part of it too. And so if anything that I've said has like resonated with you today, or if actually you're like, who's that girl? I'd quite like to meet her. Just come and create content with me. And if you feel nervous, please know you are the reason that I'm doing this, because I also really feel like it's going to be a really memorable experience that you'll probably never forget. Also, just as an extra encouragement, anybody that comes to create content with me on the day, it won't just be me. I do have an amazing team of very cool people that are coming to help me create content, because I am going to be running around and speaking as well. So it's not just me. There'll be loads of other people there too to help you and to prepare you and sort of like coach you before you get to me and actually creating content. Anybody that creates content with me at Accountex across the 2 days and posts it on social media, tagging Accountex and me, actually get entered into a prize draw to win a bundle of kit that I use to create content. Because again, I was the same as you guys. I thought I needed this like crazy system of all of this lighting and sound and all of this stuff. And the reality is you don't. But there's a really, really great starter kit that I've put together that will help you to create content as well. And so if actually you're like, okay, that was the last push I needed, I get a friend and some cool like merchy stuff that can help me create content, I'd absolutely love to have you.
Amazing. Well, I'm there. I'm there. I'm all over it. So when I'm not at my stand, I will be at your stand.
Yes. And we'll be creating content too, right? We're doing some live podcast recordings.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Right. There is only one question left, Rachel. What is the sexiest thing about accountants?
For this one, I'm going to say content creation. I honestly think like this stuff is contagious. I just love it so much. And so, yeah, if anything that I've said today has resonated with you, do that. But I can't end the show without saying, for me, the sexiest thing about accountancy is my lovely, lovely husband, James.
who was fiance, is now husband.
He got a promotion. I got a promotion. Everyone's happy.
Right, that's literally all we've got time for. I hope you stuck with us for the entire 46 minutes, I think it was. I try and keep to 30, but hey ho. Rachel, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see you at Accountex, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.